Welcome to the MWG podcast. This week we have a special guest, Solidus. You may recognize him from our last offline tournament. And it's been a year and there's a lot to talk about. Today we will discuss the future of fighting games and our eventual return to normal. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Solidus?
Yeah, and I just want to first, before I introduce myself, want to thank you guys for inviting me to the podcast. As I told you guys before in our pre-show, if you want to call it that, is that I listened to a couple of podcasts before. I noticed you guys had a lot of community members, but like it's been said many times before, COVID has been disastrous for many people out there, both in gaming and off gaming. And now that it sounds like the light at the end of the tunnel is coming, if you will, I was really curious to see what ideas you guys were having when the inevitable return was going to be here, and really just wanted to be a part of it and see what we can do as a community to um, start the brand up, and rather than just build it how it was before, build it better, and see what we can do to invite more players into the scene. Um, but to give you a little of introduction, if I will, my name's simple, Solidus. I think like most people, when they're trying to think about a gamer handle, it's like a huge life choice. You're like, okay, what's gonna be my name? And I wanted to make sure like it's a name like I was not gonna get bored, and I didn't want to change it because one thing about me is like kind of like want to be a perfectionist, and I want to pick a name that hopefully lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually at the time when I was picking the gamer tag, I was really fond of the video game series Metal Gear, and I didn't want to, and I like Solid Snake, but I don't want to be Solid Snake. It's like playing Halo and saying, "Oh, I want to be Master Chief as my gamer tag." It's too generic. But it is actually from the antagonist there, Solidus, and as a double, if you will, for the gamer tag, it's also the Roman coin, what they call the Roman coin back in the day in the Roman Empire, late Roman Empire. So I was
Okay.
like, Solidus, that sounds cool. I like it. So nothing too special, just from that game.
Okay. So it seems like you have a history with the game. It's pretty it's pretty normal. A lot of gamers will, just from their favorite games growing up, or sometimes it's just random,
Yeah,
but it's cool that your name has a history. That's good.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I want to keep something that for the most part just will never get bored and just stick with me. And so far it has. So I guess I made the right choice.
Mm,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, so with that being said, going into coming from your gamer tag, so what got you into gaming? So obviously you love Metal Gear. So is that something that is that one of the things that you grew up playing that really inspired you to keep it going, or?
Yeah, Metal Gear. I mean, most people have their own video game series that they like. Metal Gear clearly is one of them for me.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of starting from the beginning, I mean, this is kind of a story that's been repeated many times.
Mm-hmm.
I started in the original Nintendo, all the way from Super Nintendo to Nintendo 64. But it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until like when I really, because I mean, if you grow up, you're going to change the way you approach things. And it wasn't until, I mean, you might laugh at me, but it wasn't until like Pokemon Red and Blue came out, and you can actually use a link cable to connect your Game Boy and fight other Pokemon. That I
Mm-hmm.
kind of got into the competitive aspect of it. And before that, I do want to mention that a big part why I got into fighting games, and I think the way I started approaching games a lot differently, was I have a very heavy sports background. So I played a lot of soccer, a lot of soccer,
Mm-hmm.
and that led into playing like a lot of sports, both in school and outside school. Played in a lot of teams, and I played pretty much everything from volleyball, basketball, what you will. And I want to say the biggest thing, and I want to see if you guys can relate, but when you have your siblings and you have a bunch of cousins, and I'm Latin, so I mean, Latin people just, they reproduce. So I have like, you're going to laugh, I have like 38 cousins.
Okay, got
So
it.
when we got
Oh,
together and there's Super Nintendo and we have Killer Instinct, it's a bloodbath. So
Oh man.
Oh yeah, you
yeah,
find for you find to stay on the controller.
yeah, you're fighting for the controller. And speaking of that too, a part of the reason too is I grew up also, I mean, during the arcade scene. So fighting for the controller, also making sure your quarter or 50 cents, whatever have you, doesn't go away. So
Mhm.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, whatever have you. And I think it was a combination of all those things that got me into gaming. Um,
Okay, got it.
I do want to add something, if I may. I think when I really being about the sports background, I think when you play sports, it's like pretty interesting to play sports, and you have a combination of different ethnic backgrounds and different communities, and I think it's really important to find commonality. And
Mhm.
I think in gaming, I wanted that aspect. I wanted that aspect to also like reach people, because there's some people that don't like sports or don't like to go out for the most part. And I
Mhm.
always thought like, hey, what about the gaming scene? What is out there? So I think that's sort of like same philosophy of trying to meet new people, grow the scene, or find another community I can be a part of is what got me into gaming in the first place. Um, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
think. I'm trying to give more of a chronological, if you will.
Mhm.
Because I ended in Nintendo 64. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna add this. I think the first game that I started taking it competitively was actually Halo.
Oh
Uh,
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
classic.
what was actually Halo, and the fact that it was because that was the first one you can actually connect the consoles together and create a LAN center. And
Okay,
So cool.
I like where this
yeah,
is going.
dude, it was so cool. And at the time, I lived in the Bay Area for about 17 years and moved out here in Tracy, like in my last year of high school. And it was there where I met a couple people that played Halo, and I was just like addicted because I just wanted to play with my friends. And naturally, like kind of why I gave the sports background is like I was naturally competitive. I just wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to see who was the best. And it wasn't at some sort of like toxic level like a lot of gamers use. But it was
Mhm.
just fun. It was fun trying to challenge yourself and play with other players. And I think that was the first game that kind of got me into console gaming. Because before I was into PC gaming for a while, playing Counter Strike.
Mhm.
But
Oh, wow.
yeah, I was playing Counter Strike quite a while. But this is kind of one of the things where I want to add. But the reason why I like consoles, and I don't know if you guys think of this way, but I think the PC's problem is that there are way too many variables and way too many systems. The console's biggest, I'll say, advantage is the fact that they're all the same. You just plug and play. You don't have to worry about like 140 hertz monitor or whether it can run 60 FPS or this big machine. They're also more compact. So I like the idea of playing something
Have you
everyone
seen the
has.
PS5?
Dude, I've seen the PS5. It's huge, man.
It's not compact.
When I saw the PS5, I was confused. I'm like, is that a console or is that like a future router? I'm gonna have to upgrade. I wasn't sure, man. I was like, what is that?
Oh my
But
god.
Definitely not compact.
yeah.
But I
And-
know what you mean. More
Yeah,
compact than
I
the
get
PC.
what he's saying. I'm just
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to, I hope I don't enlarge this conversation bigger by talking about the history, but I'm going to get with the fighting games real quick.
Oh
But
no, you're
played,
good.
Oh, we want to hear
played,
the history.
Yeah.
We love this. This is
yeah.
good.
So after I played Halo 1, you know, it's LAN. And the reason I say LAN is, well, the sequel came out, Halo 2. And at the time, I didn't have Xbox Live, and I was so excited to get Halo 2. I'm like, I pre-ordered it and everything, and I got it, put it in the disc. Didn't have Xbox Live, very important detail. And I played the campaign, and I was disappointed. I'm like, what is this? Like, I thought I was supposed to be killing the aliens. Now to become one? Hell no, this is not what I signed up with. And
Okay.
it wasn't like till like a month later that I finally got Xbox Live, and I fell in love with it again. I'm like, this is what competitive gaming is all about. And and at the time, was gonna bring this up too, but before Halo, I actually got a GameCube. So my grassroots in gaming also came up with Super Smash Brothers Melee, which I loved all the time. But that one I never could play. I could never actually play in a tournament. I only played with my cousins that I had, and yeah, just like naturally think you're the best for playing with your cousins. You beat them up, but you play
course.
someone else and you just get destroyed. Like, wow, I'm terrible.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I
That's what
wanted
I think
to.
we all
tournaments
have
are
that.
for.
I think we've all had that competitive experience before.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
The humbling
And,
experience, like, oh,
yeah, and
thought I
with
was
play,
good.
yeah, and with playing Halo 2, and during that time period, MWG was starting. It was just barely coming up, and I noticed they both had Melee and Halo 2. I would just go to the end and get Quentin Tarantino at the end. I never became a pro or anything in Halo, but I will say that it did get good enough to at least play with specifically in Halo with a pro player that did play in the pro scene, did go into the circuit, and say I had a pretty good battle rifle, and he could never kill me. So that was kind of like my pat him the back. I'm like, all right, at least I got somewhere.
No, you hang
But
in. You could hang,
Yes.
right?
I could hang, and
That's nice.
I think that's part of like why I brought that up is like I just wanted to know, like, I always want to, like, it's kind of like wine tasting. Can I get there? And I was okay with not going full on in, trying to make it some sort of career or put more time into it. I just wanted to prove myself, like, can I get there? Can I hang with the pros? And Halo 2 is my first kind of taste, and that kind of just started the whole thing. And almost near the end, I promise, but Then Halo 2 came out, and there's of course Halo 3 in 2007. I played that one a bit competitively as well. And that one, I was doing Tracy, and so you guys remember Blockbuster Video, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Classic.
So I didn't work at Blockbuster Video. I actually worked for a bit at a Hollywood Video as competitor.
Yes.
Yes.
Video,
That's the
Yes.
best.
The
one.
real Blockbuster.
Yes. And I met a lot of friends through Hollywood Video, and actually hosted a couple tournaments there as well. They're small tournaments, like nothing big. Like if you're thinking size wise, it's like no more than like 15 people, I'd say. But
did you host a brawl tournament?
I
Not
did
to cut
host.
you off, but
I did host one brawl tournament before, and I didn't play, but I did get my ass kicked by this guy who played a warrior. But I'll get to brawl real quick. But I did host. Yeah, I did host one brawl tournament near the end. But the reason I bring that up is during that time period, I also kind of land Halo 3. And that one, kind of like the situation where the example I told you guys where I played with a player who did go all the way to the pro circuit. We actually got a player to actually drive who was on the circuit, but actually met him and land with us in Tracy and said that we already were good enough to kind of like play Halo or start the team. So, I bring that up because not to kind of say, oh, wow, you're trying to say it's like awesome in Halo. No, I think that just that kind of adventure or giving myself a challenge and playing a game and trying to express myself in a way is kind of how I decide what games I'm going to play. But around that period, I'd say it's a dark time because then I got my heart broken. 2008, I didn't have a Wii, and I'm glad I brought Hollywood Video. I bought the Wii from someone that was working there, paid $200. Thought it was a good deal because at the time you couldn't find a Wii anywhere.
Right.
But Super Smash Brothers Brawl, and I'm like, what is this, Kaka? What? This is not Melee.
Oh, you talking about Brawl? Oh,
Brawl.
no.
Super Smash Brothers Brawl. I mean, I had to be upfront, and I'd say it was probably the most disappointing game I've ever played. From a competitive aspect, I mean, I can articulate very well, but random tripping. They made the sweet spot mechanic very close. Everyone was so wavy, like people were in the air a lot more. And and you please, anytime you guys want to like shut me up, please let me know.
No,
But-
you expressing your disappointment in
Yeah.
Brawl is funny.
Yeah.
It's the best
Yeah.
thing.
But it's like, and then like I was playing Marth in Melee, and Marth here was not even the same. I mean,
Not even close.
the short hop was so easy. You can combo all the time. Even when I won, that's the thing too, is like winning has to feel like some sort of reward factor, like it was a skill, like there's so it's somewhat different in Pro West between you and your opponent, and I didn't feel like that in Brawl. So I played Snake because Snake was good, but I didn't feel good about playing Snake. Like I felt
Right.
sick to my stomach. And I was really disappointed. I'm like, damn, like this is what fighting games are going to be now. And yeah, dude, yeah, I was pretty down on it. And I'm nearing the end, I promise. And then finally in 2009, the one game that probably kind of shaped and kind of solidified all that I mentioned, the entirety of sports background, the competitiveness inside me, was Street Fighter 4. Like Street Fighter 4 was my baby. That one like opened my eyes to, like, that was the one I would say I was definitely a part of the fighting game community. I mained Ryu and I liked Ryu. It was simple, it was easy, but I can
Nice.
express myself with the character. And it was exactly what I wanted. I'm like, man, this is what gaming is all about. And it was the first game I bought a fight stick for. It's the first game I went out to tournaments for. I even went out there, and do you guys know who Daigo Mahara is? I'm sure you
Oh,
guys
absolutely.
do, right?
course.
Legend.
So I actually,
Legend.
I actually inevitably met Daigo in the 25th anniversary like Capcom tournament that they had.
Okay.
It wasn't even a
Nice.
tournament. They just kind of had a little get together where the pros played. But yeah, I think Street Fighter 4 kind of shaped up what I wanted, like what gaming was all about. And
So who was the
Awesome.
main?
so my main is in Ryu.
Oh, no,
was
no, no,
Ryu.
no. Sorry.
Was what? Go ahead.
Oh, never mind. I got something mixed up.
Oh, you need to make that. No, it's good. You know what though? We love that you love Street Fighter 4 because we love Street Fighter 4. In fact, that's what I grew up playing. So
Street Fighter 4 is like, it's basically the new gateway, or it was the new gateway for like competitive game or
so
competitive
much,
fighting games.
so many people,
Like,
so many.
Yeah, the FGC like really was like, I guess, revived in a way in 2009. You know, Street Fighter 4 came out and it was just like, hey, tournaments
here.
are back. Like,
We're here, you know.
that Street Fighter 4 was, I think, the first time they streamed Evo for Street Fighter 4, it hit like 10,000 like live viewers at once, and that was like the most like fighting games done like ever at that point. And it just blew up from there. And like it's so cool because with Street Fighter 4, like Melee was able to come back in a big way in Evo. Like I think Street Fighter 4 really just blew up the fighting game scene in general, just because of timing. Like when it came out, technology was finally where it was at, where you can where you can stream games and people are like watching video game streams, and it made a really big difference in fighting games and the history of fighting games. But yeah,
snowball effect, right? Like it's just because of this, fighting games just gains more traction on Twitch, and then Melee, makes a splash at Evo, and
makes it way more accessible.
Yeah, and Smash in general. So just it's the we say Street Fighter 4, but it just because because of all these things, I think what really brings us together is like what Solidus is saying. What drives him is our competitive spirit. You know what I mean? And then in Street Fighter 4, it just made it so that you can it just put a spotlight on that competitive spirit, and then everyone is kind of like, yo, let's make this bigger. Let's make it happen. Hey, I want to get into this. You know what I mean? So
yeah, my bad, man. I meant to say who is the secondary. I was reading the word name.
Oh, the secondary.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, are you talking about in Street? Solid
Street Fighter 4, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you got Ordinary Guy, but that was a huge cast.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I'm glad you guys are giving me your history with Street Fighter 4. Did you have any history with Street Fighter 4 personally, by any chance? Tears?
I wasted lots of dollars at the arcade in San Jose because it cost $1 to play when they first got it.
Mom taught me how to play.
I played at home. I was at home. I played at home online. I also went to the arcade. When Tilt was Fun Factory here at the West Valley Mall, there was this very small scene, nothing too big, but guys knew what they were doing though, like for the most part. And looking back, it wasn't anything very special, but at the time, they might as well all have been Daigo Umahara, because I was getting beat up like all the time, and I was playing my busted Ryu. It was like a revelation to me to discover that I could do low forward into fireball, and I was like, man, I'm gonna win every game now. Like, this is crazy. Low forward fireball, and then so all of us, like me, Naj, and Moss, have kind of just been in this area pretty much forever. And
whoa, no,
not forever,
but yeah, like real quick, SJSU I think SJSU was like one of the first places in NorCal to get Street Fighter 4. Yeah. So like, I think it was fall 2008 that semester they finally had it, and the line was ridiculous, and it legit cost $1 to play one game. So if you lost, that was $1 down the drain. And I remember my first time playing, I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick C Viper.
Nice.
Right.
Oh my god, good luck with that. Yeah.
His size won't cancel. Okay.
The dude that's been on the sticks, he's got at least like 5 games under him at this point, 5 wins, and he's been there for hours already. Like, it's already been a couple of days since we've had it at SJSU. I picked C Viper and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I was like, wow, I picked the wrong character. So yeah, never learned C Viper.
Wait, Moss. Wait, you gotta tell us.
I got hit with the FADC Ultra.
Oh,
sure, you can FADC Ultra. Like, oh my gosh.
But you gotta tell us the extremely important question that you gotta answer for us. How long it take to get from the back of the line to the cabinet?
Ooh. I don't know. I think I might have been there like. So that was this one semester I took off. So yeah, I don't think I had like the class going on. So it was like, like an okay time to go there.
You had limitless time.
So it was probably like probably like 3 or 4 games maybe. Okay. But then the line built up. The line was always long for that game.
I'm gonna guess like it took maybe like 20 minutes to get to the front of the line.
I think the games were running pretty quick because a lot of people were like still new to the game, and like dude, though, he was winning. He's been playing for a while, so he was running through people pretty quick.
Uh-huh. Okay. I mean, yeah, that doesn't seem too bad. I was thinking like I was thinking like convention type hours. Like you're like, oh man, it took me an hour to get to the front just to lose. Like what's going on?
Oh, I'm pretty sure like after my first match, it started getting longer and longer.
Uh-huh.
But I don't remember it being that long to play my first match.
Yeah.
After that, though, it was bad.
So Solidus, we all definitely had mains in that game. I cycled through a lot of the cast at the time. I was playing Ryu, I was playing Cody, I was playing Fei Long, you name it. But I finally landed on a main, and I ended up playing Geef. I played Zangief for the
Gross.
B. Yeah, it was great. Everyone completely hated Geef, but it's great. It was worth it because Geef was so cheap in that game. Yeah, Geef was cheap. I was just card grabbing people. Like if you whiffed low forward in front of me and I was like half screen away, you were getting grabbed for whatever reason. That was great. I used to do this thing where I say the tech from Aqua Silk where like you'd be in the corner and you'd hold focus attack, and then it's Geef, right? So you'll jump naturally because you don't want to get his focus attack. You dash forward, Ultra 2, and it was too good. Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys all shared. Tears, did you have anything you wanted to say about?
Yeah, I was just 8 on main. I was really
The
I wasn't
best
that good
Aeon
at the
Tracy.
game. I mean, I was the best 8 on, but I was also the worst player.
Naj was playing Adon. I remember the Adon at the locals.
Yeah. No. Wes, you said it perfectly. It's like without Street Fighter 4, and this is just the truth, I don't think there'd be a melee scene. I don't think maybe Ultimate. I mean, I think Ultimate's still been made inevitably, but I don't think it would be a big of a splash. It pretty much revitalized the fighting games. And it brought a lot of people who had the similar story, which is played Street Fighter 2 or Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in the cabinet and brought them back interested in the scene.
I think
So
that's
it's fun.
fair.
Yeah,
fair to say, to be honest.
yeah. And it's funny you guys mentioned a cabinet because did you guys know? I think it was before Tilt here in Tracy, like right across from the Playlight Nation. Before it was Tilt, they actually had an arcade edition.
Yeah.
And they downgraded for whatever
They
reason.
downgraded, yeah. And
They
I
did.
remember someone told me rumors because at that time we only had Super for console, and I was like, "There's no way in my hometown they're gonna have an arcade edition." I figured I have to drive all the way to like the city. Sure enough, I go there and I play, and similar story. Of course, I was the guy with like 15 wins. I don't know how I did it too, because like one thing about me, I played in an octagonal gate, so I had like 8 corners on my fight stick.
Mhm.
Okay.
But that one it was a square gate, but I still managed to kind of like make the adjustment.
Nice.
But it was so much fun, and I met so many players. Like this guy's like, "Hey, dude, I just got off my shift from Sonic," and he was a Blanca player, and he was tough to beat, but I ended up beating him anyways. But it was fun. I was like, "Man, this is exactly what like gaming is all about." Yeah, I didn't have a secondary too to answer your question, Tears. I want to go back to what you asked. Part about me too, and I know I'll answer the ultimate question inevitably, but with responsibilities and work, I don't have really much a lot of time.
I
So
know
try
that
to
feel.
so I try to like master one character and always tell myself like there's still so much to learn, like, and the possibilities are endless. So I try to stick to one character. I do play a lot of them, but I try to put all my time to kind of put all my prowess, if you will, into one character. So I primarily played Ryu or like Evil Ryu Ken. So I guess you can call me the boring like Shoto character in
But they get the job. They get the job done.
They
Though.
get the job done, yeah. Because the reason why I liked Ryu is because execution isn't too heavy, but I can play my mind games. So like, this is why I like fighting games, because you can like see what players react, and this is why I think the off-fight scene is really important, because you feel the player. Like when I would play people, and sometimes I'm like, all right, I'm gonna throw a fireball. How do you react? Oh, you like to block, huh? I'll throw a second one. Do you jump after that? Okay. So then I'm like, what happens if I get this close? And if I notice to start grabbing, I'm like, so this range you get a little uncomfortable. I'll throw a little forward, or I'll move a little bit. Or I'll do the shimmy, if they call it back then, to kind of see if I can get him. Yeah.
Yes.
So it was a way to kind of like, because it was really like a chess match. You're kind of like figuring out your player and what you can do from your character to kind of inevitably win. And
Right.
I think that's why I love Street Fighter 4. But But I guess if you don't mind, do you mind if I wrap up the game system thing or genres?
Sounds good.
You guys
Yeah,
any
you know what?
questions?
Of course.
Was right after that I played Ultimate vs. Capcom 3. Great fighting game.
Mhm.
It's really cheap. It's pretty much you try to make your opponent not play. It's like
Basically,
yeah, that's basically what it was.
it's a
Yeah.
one-player game. It's a one-player
Yeah,
game.
it's a one-player game, and how long your combo you can go, and how cheap you can get it, and inevitably ended up being a chick that threw fireballs and a demon with a sword, Virgil. So yeah, it was fun though. I loved it. Honestly, looking back, Ultimate vs. Capcom 3 was one of the most creative games out there.
Yes, absolutely.
I did have a brawl moment though. Again, unfortunately, with Street Fighter 5. I do not like that game whatsoever. It was not Street Fighter 4.
Mhm.
That magic just was not in Street Fighter 5, and
That's fair.
yeah.
Fair.
That's one thing I wanted to say about myself is I don't want to have bias. That's one thing I've learned through life is like you also want to say just because you like something or you get at something, you also have to admit the faults. And if I like a series, I can instantly like bring it down if the next one isn't going to be good. And Street Fighter 5 was kind of like that for me.
Okay, yeah, that's absolutely fair. You know, I definitely had particular feelings. Actually, all of us do. I don't even know if all of us still do. I don't anymore. I don't know about the other two, but I actually have been playing Street Fighter 5 with a new because I felt that same exact way coming from all those hours of Street Fighter 4. But yeah, that's absolutely fair. It's just it's so different. But eventually, you know, when Championship Edition came out, I just decided, okay, this is just a new game that I didn't grow up playing. Like it's got new mechanics. It's not the same. And yeah, and while it's to me, it's not gonna do what Street Fighter 4 did for me. It's just doing something else for me.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that game.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fair that you feel that way about Street Fighter 5, and that's cool. It's just, but yeah, you know, I just made an attempt because I'm competitive like you, man, and I just want to be where the competition's at. So that's kind of what's been on. That's kind of how I feel about the game now.
Yeah, in fact, what you just said, it kind of wraps up what my feelings are, which is like, hey, if people enjoy Street Fighter 5, yeah, go at it. Play Street Fighter 5.
Yes.
I do not want you to like play a game you're not gonna like, but I also have to be honest to myself and say, you know what, it just isn't for me, and I just have to move on, and that's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, there started moving. Like, I took a break from fighting games for a bit, and then played a lot of Battlefield back. I have a like if I would say the genres I really like is fighting game and RTS are up there. I like StarCraft 2 also, and FPS is out there too. But I know contract. I think it was I want to say Infamous. I think that was his name as a Falcon player.
Oh, yep.
He did bring up Fortnite, and I know he said he didn't like it. It was just a small nod. Most people don't. But I actually ended up picking up Fortnite, and I feel like that game, what it did to the gaming community as a whole, was probably more astronomical than a Street Fighter.
I agree. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I agree. I don't hate that game in the slightest. Not even. I mean, I like to play like I hate it because I'm so bad at it, but I actually have no ill feelings towards the game. I think I feel the same way.
Do you mind me asking, what are you guys' thoughts about the game? Just out of curiosity, like, tell me everything. Like, do you guys hate it? Do you guys wish it was deleted from the servers? Do you wish it never existed? Would you wish Thanos erased it? Like, give me your
I like that last option.
Yeah.
So Fortnite to me, it just brought gaming into. I mean, gaming's already been on its way to the mainstream for a long time now, but Fortnite, because of the art, because of how it appeals to its audience, that it's just brought gaming to an even bigger platform than it already was, and it's just changed gaming forever. You know, now because of Fortnite, now you have battle passes, now you have all these companies supporting the game very regularly. You know, they got them taking care of it, wanting to cater to the audience, want to do their best to make balance changes, you know, and it's made its mark now. And no matter, you know, and even if Fortnite is eventually, you know, phased out in the mainstream, there's always going to be a very talented group of players playing it, and its legacy, it's just always going to have a legacy. Like, we're always going to, like, 10 years from now, we're gonna be like, yo, you remember Fortnite? You know what I mean? What it did, because everybody was playing it. Even people at work, who don't even play games, were talking about the black hole event. I was like, bro, you don't even, what is happening? You don't even play games, right?
Exactly.
So, but how I feel about it, I personally love the game. It takes an insane amount of execution to play that game. It's not even about, I mean, it's a shooter, but it's not a shooter, man. Like once you get shot once, you lose 20, 30 armor, and then you build. That's all execution, all hard work. It's like fighting games. You know what I mean? In a way, it's like fighting games, right? As arcadey as it is, but it requires a lot of execution that I don't want to put the time into because I already play fighting games. So I'm just like, I'm not trying to shoot and execute at the same time. So I think it's cool. I'm just bad at it. So I will always I always fire shots towards Fortnite, but it's all just to be funny. I still think the game is cool, and you got to work. That can make you work.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you guys feel out of curiosity? Just trying to get like different opinions because I always ask that question to get like mixed responses.
I actually don't really have an opinion on the game at all. Like I don't pay much attention to it to have an opinion on it. It's kind of just like a game that a lot of people are playing. Like I know my nephew plays it, but it's like I have zero interest in it, so I don't really pay attention to it, to be honest. I think it's cool that they have like the different crossover events that they've had, but like outside of that, I don't really care too much about it.
Right.
Cool.
Nice.
I like it.
I don't like it.
Yes.
Tell me more. Tell me more. Come on.
I mean, all right. Fortnite did a lot of great things for the gaming, but
they do bastardize some characters though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like really looks retarded.
Yeah. Keep at it. I want honesty. Yeah. We can shame Fortnite. I like it.
They did good stuff. Like the battle pass, it's effective. It's a great way to do stuff, but could it have been just any other game to bring gaming to the forefront?
I know.
Please.
Yeah.
Like all those little kids doing the Fortnite dances. I was like, what's this? What does this have to do with gaming?
Gotta emote, man.
Oh man. But like the gameplay wise, I never really got into it. I'm not good at third person shooters. I mean, I'm only decent at first person. The third person is too weird, and I can't build. And it just reminded me of Minecraft too much. Shooting game.
You guys don't like Minecraft either?
I love Minecraft.
You guys love Minecraft?
I love Minecraft. I don't play it anymore, but I still love the game.
I've never touched it.
Never touch it? Me either. I never touched it either. I tried Fortnite. That's why I kind of tell my Minecraft people, I'm like, hey, see, I like Fortnite, so I kind of like Minecraft.
Yeah, but when you say this is the FPS.
Yeah. So do you mind if I show you my thoughts? I'm going to try to tickle my point as much as I can. Please hammer me with questions. You can say I'm stupid. I don't care.
No, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
So I thought about it too, but it's like the reason I'm glad you guys asked me the question about the history, maybe to kind of wrap up all my points and kind of mention I look at gaming this way. But Fortnite, yeah, you're right. It was the biggest game out there. I mean, how many countless console wars do we have about like, oh, and it's just a big black box for $300. It's pretty weird, but people only have to pick one because some people unfortunately only have to during Christmas, but everyone fights. And Fortnite was the one game that finally brought crossplay, that finally said, you know what, doesn't matter, you want to play on an iPhone, you want to play on a Tamagotchi, you want to play on your PC, you have Fortnite there, you play on an Android, it's yours, man. You want to play on a Texas calculator, go ahead, it's yours. Throwing a joke in there, but you can play with an endless amount of systems. And I think now most games overall are now starting to include crossplay. And what's the biggest thing about fighting games is that it's kind of niche still. And the reason I tell myself, why are fighting games so niche? And I truly believe it's because unlike other games, I don't know if you guys feel this way too, but especially with team games, a lot of casual gamers, typically if they lose, they don't like take responsibility upon themselves for a loss, even if they're the ones that they're like, oh, my teammates are just bad, like I had to carry them or something.
Dude,
and we still lost.
The legends,
dude.
And I hate it. And fighting games, this is why I like fighting games, because you know what, I want more black and white thing. If you beat me, good, beat me and I'll give you credit. But if I beat you, I don't want any excuses. I beat you, you're just not good. If I perfected you, sorry, like block next time. If I like that. And
oh man,
go ahead. No, you're gonna say something. I'll let you say your point. You have something.
No, I just gotta say, I feel a specific way about this. It's just there are a lot of opinions on as to why fighting games are as niched as they are, and why people, won't get into it or will play League of Legends or other stuff, and compare. But again, all of this is subjective, but I don't care. Your opinion is absolutely right. That's absolutely facts. No one wants to take responsibility for losing, and they just want to blame their teammates.
Exactly.
And they just can't stand it when I hit you low and it converted to super, and they're like, "Well, why'd I die?" It's because I'm godlike and you didn't block. Like, what is like?
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with my bottom lane, not my support like stealing my kills. It has nothing to do with you not rotating when you have to. It's not because my teammates couldn't control the area, when they're holding a specific angle in FPS. No, like it's just you lost, I won. And then when I lose, it's the same thing. When I lose, I just got outplayed. And even if you're playing in a cheesy way, dude, it's my fault for losing to it. Like, why did I lose? Like, it's because I don't know how to deal with it.
No,
that's
hold up though. I'm on the opposite end because I was good at League of Legends. It really was my teammates' fault. I didn't do anything wrong.
And you know what? That's facts too, dude. Naj, the best League player ever. It could never be your fault. Come on, bro. You right.
Yeah. Right. That's why I like fighting games too, because you don't have to worry about somebody else screwing up, and then all of a sudden you can't win.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think like playing fighting games and even RTS too, I feel like it says a lot about you as a character, because that's why I'm so attracted to the community, because it's like-minded people that understand like, hey, you care about winning? Good. You care about losing too? They go hand in hand. How can you care about losing if you care about winning? They have to coexist. There's just no way.
Right.
In order to be a winner, they have to be a loser. And I think like what you just mentioned, Wes, was like, hey, when I play and I lose, well, what do? You pick yourself up and learn and play. And most people, this is where I try to extrapolate the term casual. They just say, you know what? It's just button mashing. That's all fighting games is. And I'm like, dude, you didn't give it a chance. Come on. Like, you're just saying that because of your lack of an ability. Or this is where I go a little bit more in. I'm like, your lack of intellectual capacity to understand that you have to press the button at the right time.
It's too factual. It's just too factual out here.
And I won't say it in that manner, but it's the truth. People don't want to take the time to learn something, and they don't realize that the games that are easy to pick up and don't have any depth don't get played competitively, like Super Smash Brothers Brawl or like some other games. Like, I think a perfect game to play is a game that's easy. Like, accessibility is extremely important. But if you make it too accessible, then the community can't grow, and the game community won't stay. There won't be a long-lasting community. I'm sure you guys saw the Smash documentary, right? The first one. Yeah. And there's I forgot her name. She made a brilliant comment. And she said that Sakurai made a huge mistake with Brawl, which is like, by making the game accessible, like he pretty much just alienated the competitive crowd. Like, what's the point of being passionate for a game when anyone can just pick up and play? Or like, you're about to do this move and your character trips. Like, how's that fun? Like, that's not fun at all.
But I think along with alienating the competitive side, it also widens that gap that you're trying to close, because you make the skill gap, or the skill ceiling is so low that it makes people that are actually good at the game way better than people that just pick it up casually.
No, that's true too, because the thing is just when you're casual, or just quote casual at anything, the fact of the matter is anyone who's just more passionate than the other person is just going to be better than you no matter what, because they put all the time and they do the blood, the sweat, the tears. And even though there was tripping and just some wacky mechanics, guess what? Everybody played Meta Knight, and then that's what happened. Look what happened to Brawl. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, no matter if the skill ceiling is high, that's good, because there's just a lot more possibilities. And then if the skill ceiling is low, well, it's just gonna, not only does it alienate like a specific part of the fan base, but it's just not going to make it any easier for the casual for the casual quote. It's just the truth. Like, it's just it's about finding the right balance. A lot of these guys try to make just try to find the balance between trying to bridge the gap, as you will between us competitive and casual, so like everyone can kind of have fun. And that's a hard task, man. Like,
well, what if I told you there was a little secret magic trick that could bridge that gap, that could close everything, which is bring the community together?
What is it?
It's called an offline tournament.
Oh,
I can't wait till we get there. I can't wait.
The transition king strikes again.
And we're coming soon to where we can actually get back to offline tournaments. But it's going to be post-COVID, and the scene's going to change a lot. So, what are you guys' thoughts on how everything that we've learned from the COVID lockdown, how everything's going to change?
Wait, what? The silence. What's going on? Like,
it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about.
It's just so much. So much
yeah. So, like, what did we learn from the COVID lockdown? I mean, your last tournament was the last tournament a whole year ago.
No.
Yeah. So I was waiting for you guys to actually say something, which is fine. I just wanted to wait. Yeah. Do you mind if I finish my just my final thoughts on Fortnite real quick? And I promise I'll answer that, and I'll answer. I want to go.
Too good.
I want to go into your. I know. I feel like we go hours talking about the competition, but it's funny. That's why, like, I mean, by expressing yourself is like, that's why I tell a good game is good. Like when you saw Ryu, like me play. And you didn't even see my face, but then you see Ryu, you're like, that's Daigo. The game has to allow you to express yourself. And I feel like in Smash, like Smash has how many characters? 80? It's amazing.
80.
Celebrated game. I can't wait. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about Ultimate. But it's like, dude, how do you pick a character here? And I went back and forth. I tried Captain Falcon. I tried Mewtwo. And then after a while, I actually got beat up by this like adult Link, and it kept throwing bombs at me, and I couldn't get back on the stage. I'm like, that's super cheap. I want to try that. And I'm like, I ended up picking adult Link, and since then that's been my main for the most part. And I feel a little good because he's the least spammy of the 3 Links. He hits hard like a tank, but you do have to kind of like space your boomerang and your arrows for the most part, because if you throw them randomly, you'll get punished pretty quickly. So he's kind of like Ryu in the sense, like even though Ryu's in the game, I can feel like I can be a little bit more calculated with Link and a little bit more strategic and where I'm gonna put my bombs. Like the bombs was the one thing that made me like the character.
Okay, that's good reasoning as to why you would main a character. But yeah, no, that's that comparison's pretty spot on actually. I mean, and with Link, like a lot of people think that throwing projectiles like is mindless, but it's only mindless when you don't know how to deal with them. So you really do get punished for throwing stuff. That's just the truth. So, yeah. But yeah, I could see the comparison. Link and Ryu.
And yeah, and thanks for letting me wrap up that point. And Tears, I wanted to go back to what you mentioned, but not to like remove any fire from that because it's a great topic. But it's like, what is the plan right after the COVID lockdowns and the importance of the offline scene? Yeah, so you guys, I think you guys should follow up. What do you guys think?
What did we learn? You know what we did learn is that we learned that online needs to get better. Yeah. That's what I feel like I learned, because it's not, I'm not saying like another this may happen again in the near future, but it's just playing online is just, it's not the future, it's now. Like it's here, like it's in the present. Like we need to be, there's so many games already that are more than playable online. And for fighting games, like, yeah, if you ask me, the heart and soul of fighting games is the community and playing offline. But it's just, we can't do it like 24/7 though. You know what I mean? It's just impossible because, as you said, it's all this with life and all its responsibilities. I absolutely feel on that because I still work full time and I still try to, pursue my hobby, my passion. And you know what? I just can't be at a LAN like forever, like, all the time. So having, what I learned is like, dude, like we gotta find more ways to play. Cause you know what I mean? Like one day out of the week, if it's bi-weekly, if it's weekly, if it's bi-monthly, if it's monthly, like it's like, yeah, it's awesome we're getting together, but it's just like, if we want to, it's just cool if we had online to grind, to grind matchups, to grind against other players, just to get better. You know what I mean? That's something I've learned. I'm just like, dude, like this gotta get better.
Yeah,
it really does.
Dude, I guess I want to start by saying, do you mind if I say something? Or Moss,
No.
were you gonna say something? Sorry, I don't want to take.
Oh, go for it.
At first, I want to thank you guys. If no one has, thank you guys. Seriously, I'll say it third time. Thank you guys for at least being the leaders and trying to start something. It takes one person to lead the torch. If it hasn't been said enough, I'll say it. I think it's important for a lot of kids, for a lot of people, to kind of come together and find some commonality and it's healthy because online gaming just can't be it. And there is, you guys can clearly distinct see the difference between playing offline and online. And Wes, you said it like perfectly. And what other game to represent crappy online than Super Smash Brothers Ultimate? Because and
exactly.
yeah, and the thing is, like, it's crazy. It's a weird feeling. Like, you have to play online to learn the matchups because there's so many characters, but it's such a weird feeling to play a game that if you keep playing online and you keep adjusting to it, because you're no longer like reacting, you're predicting at most of the times, and that's not good. And when I played, because that was the first and last tournament when I played last year, at the Play Live Nation venue, was that all of a sudden I realized my up Bs with Link weren't working. I'm like, oh crap, I can't punish this anymore. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm offline now. And I quickly adjusted, but I'm like, you play a different game. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I thought about this before, and I think it did well. I played a Samus player that I got him to last stock, and seeing his reaction after, he's like, oh my god, that guy got me really nervous. So I'm like, it was a success story. I did well, but I already messed up. Like, I messed up big time because the fact that it did well, I mean, all this grinding I was doing online, imagine how quickly that would have happened or accelerated if I just went to the tournaments more. And I thought about that too. It's like, if you just go to the tournaments more often, I mean, your grinding would be a lot more effective.
I absolutely agree. Playing online is actually is perfectly fine for playing, just learning the matchup at least, right? But like when you play offline, yeah, it is a different game, and at the very least you'll know what your opponent is capable of, and then that's when you play reactions. That's when like, I'm not it again, online is still a learning experience, but it's just a shame that it's a different game. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of it's pretty whack. But yeah, hopefully one day we'll get there. You know what I mean? With it seems promising with rollback netcode, being the topic of conversation more and more these days.
Yeah, by the way, can I mention something? That's why Melee for me will always be considered like the number one fighting game for me, because that game has no patches. It has all the support from the community. That is a definition of a community coming together and just making it grow. And even then, we have like a Ganondorf, also known as Nintendo, in the background trying to shut this whole thing down. And the community keeps coming back. Like, we keep fighting and fighting. And I'm like, what can we do? I mean, I don't know what's up with Nintendo. Sometimes I think if I went to their offices, they don't have like, those Cisco IP phones. They have like a can and a string, and that's how they communicate. I don't get it. How do they get with the times? But
living in the 1890s out here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it has rollback netcode. Yeah, and the coolest thing I want to say, what you guys did well, which, like, it may be a small thing, but I really like what you guys did with those cards, because like, it was cool, because the funny thing is, I brought one of my buddies who never played fighting games before, and I can tell you, after the first time he got beat up, he's like, dude, I want to come here all week. It was really fun. But he's like, I would wish I get one of those cards, but you have to earn it. You have to be consistent. And it was cool because they kind of just symbolized like all the hard work you had, and then your character that you picked happened to be transported into a card. That was really cool. It was really cool. I'm like, yeah, damn, I want my adult Breath of the Wild Link card, but like, I shut down, unfortunately, due to COVID. Yeah.
If it makes you and your friend feel better, I don't see myself getting that card anytime soon. But you know what? The the rewards are there, and I just gotta go earn it. And but yeah, I'm glad that you guys are just down to come back. You know what I mean? We try to make the local as enjoyable as possible, and if anything, that local, obviously it's a competition, but it's really, like, at least to me, it's a celebration of just something we love, man. Just video games, being competitive, camaraderie. You know what I mean? So
I'm glad you mentioned that, because the player rewards, the whole point of that was to make sure everyone in the community felt like they were doing something, because far too often it's just, oh, that's top 8, and then even within top 8 it's like, oh, I didn't get top 3. So as long as everybody feels like they've accomplished something, that's the whole reason we came up with it. And mentioning that there are going to be new rewards, I'm not going to say any of them now, but participation, participation can actually earn you something that I think would be pretty nice, and people would be pretty hyped to have. But that's as much as I could say. But
if you told me 10 years ago that at the age of 27 that I begin hyped over participation, I would think you're wildin', not gonna lie.
Hey, as long as you attend 3 tournaments, at least 3, that's the minimum to qualify. But perfect attendance, you might like what you see.
Going back to
All
school, I
right.
like it. I like it. Perfect attendance.
Oh, yeah, I got to come up with some kind of name for this stuff.
Something cool, yeah.
So is there anything else that the for any of you guys, is there anything else like the COVID lockdown has like made you realize about just not just about fighting them, I guess, but just gaming in general? You guys want to add to that?
Yeah, I do have some. Do you guys? I'm sorry, I don't want to. If by the way, if you guys feel like I'm talking too much, please feel free to let me know. Like, hey, Solidus, you gotta shut up. You know, it's our turn.
Oh, you're
But,
the guest.
No, you're the guest. We want
You're
you
the
on here to
guest.
talk.
So I actually did an experiment. So when the COVID lockdowns hit, me and my friends and the buddies, we actually made what's called a little COVID list of all the games we played. So I think what it just reminded me of kind of like my choice of gaming and me playing fighting games and all the history does shape up the way I play games now, because I don't know if you guys think about this, but it's like think about all the highs. Like if you would rate the high moments of all your gaming, like playing at a tournament is probably like a 10, or man, almost beating this player at this said fighting game was probably like a 10. But think about that feeling. It's really hard to replicate that feeling, even though it's different, in like a single player game. So like I didn't mention this too, but I play a ton of single player games, but they have to be high quality. I've noticed that I no longer can like stand playing like a Destiny or like a time waster. Like I already have a job. I don't want to play Anthem and just like grind mindlessly. I want to get challenged. I want to problem solve. That's why I got into gaming. And man, I'm going back to Fortnite. I'm sorry, but it's why like okay,
The best game.
So here's the thing. I want to bring a different perspective about this game, because here's the thing. It's a weird game. In the end, for a competitive game, it's not a competitive game. Do not play Fortnite competitive. That's the thing. It's terrible. It was actually my first battle royale to play, but I think out of all the battle royales, it stands competitively because you do mention, think about it. Most of the time, there's so many. Because one thing, if you probably noticed by talking about Brawl, is anytime you implement an element of randomness, it actually degrades the integrity of a game. And I think for a game to be successful, it needs to have 3 things, and they're all important. But there needs to be community, like a good community. Like it needs to be large. And it's why I get attracted to large communities, because I always want to be part of these communities. I always want to meet people. It's really fun and exciting. So it needs to be large. And then 2, for me, there needs to be like integrity. Like there needs to be some sort of skill factor, because otherwise, why spend like 20 hours in a game when the guy who just started the first hour can beat you up? Then you just have Call of Duty and just wasting your time.
Right.
And then I think the third thing is there needs to be like a strong competitive like scene. I think for me, because part of the reason why I like Smash, well, Melee a little bit more in terms of like spectators, is I feel like if you want to make it like an esport, it needs to be fun to watch. Like you can't just play. You also have to kind of like enjoy watching videos and wanting to grow. I feel like Fortnite had in the beginning because it was so brand new. Like you mentioned, the execution and do all this building was very quick and easy, but the nature of it being a team game also had, and this is just human nature, but most people played a team game every time they lost, and especially since in a battle royale, we only have one life, and all that time grinding, getting your resources to essentially manipulate your terrain, because that's what makes Fortnite a bit interesting. Is most FPS, when you think about it, you can't have to move around the terrain and have like proper game sense to realize, hey, is this a risky move? Is this not? Fortnite, if someone shot at you, and because the nature of battle royale, you actually had a chance. You can build your way out of it, and you can manipulate your pieces to somehow be defensive, and then switch it back and be aggressive and beat your opponent. So there's some skill factor there as well. But I'm just thinking about what I'm going to say next. But I think what I'm saying was I did play Fortnite enough to get into the highest rank before they reset it, championship. And I can say that it's a battle royale game. It was really fun to get there. But in the end, like, I don't know if you guys think about this as well, but a true test for a game isn't like in the beginning when everyone's learning and grinding and trying to figure out how the game is. A true test for a game is also near the end. That's why Melee keeps getting good, because like Marth is now back on top because there's one Marth just showing you all this new tech. And that's why Melee is so beloved. But in Fortnite, and this is actually one thing I got from the lead designer from Street Fighter 2 HD Remix. His name is David Serlin. And he brought up this interesting point, which is cool, which is like, and this is why I think sports is aggressive, is like, if you make a game too defensive, it's not fun. You have to have some sort of like it has to be like where offense is going to be kind of the main factor. Otherwise, if you have too much offense, people are not going to like it. It's not fun to spectator sport, and it's not fun. It's not fun to play. And I think once players got really good at building, I mean, yeah, the bottom players can't keep up because like even if you're good at shooting, if you don't know how to build, you lose. But even in the pro scene, it's like this is what I'll say. Even in the pro scene,
I'm sleeping. I'm
Yeah.
sleep during pro
Yeah,
scene.
because
It's so
all
defensive.
it's so defensive, and
It's boring.
and inevitably what ends up happening is the same problems that a battle royale just happen. They just get kind of like emphasized more, which is okay, random loot, random places. Do you know if the player's going to drop in the same place you are? What if you don't get the right loot? What if you don't have the right color weapon? What if you don't get the weapon around the same time? What if the zone doesn't move? There's so many different factors. And I think at the end, what ends up happening, which is crazy if you guys seen it, just a bunch of box battles, which is just people trying to create these like they call them one by one, but these boxes surrounding them and you just edit pieces. And it ends up becoming kind of like redundant, I'd say. And I think that's why Fortnite in the end, like I mean, kids still like it. It's a casual game, but as a competitive game, it fails at the test in that regard.
It's
Yeah.
just this is the
I agree
problem.
100%.
It's
It failed. It failed.
Okay, so okay, here's the thing, though. Right? As competitive as I think it is, the truth is, in a BR, that's where it is. That's the problem. Battle Royale, right? The circle is not the same every single time. The loot is not the same every single time. And like you said, the integrity is important. Well, to tell you the truth, if you add that spice of randomness in it, it's kind of difficult for it to be truly competitive. You know what I mean? So I totally feel you on that, man. Like that's just the truth, man. The players and the spectators, like, hey man, you can have the sport, you can have the game, but it's not gonna be there if the players and the spectators aren't on board. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you right now, I'm sleeping during competitive Fortnite because if I see 25 people in the last circle and everybody's either above or below each other, I'm just like, if I gotta wait 20 minutes for the action to start, I'm like, yeah, I'm asleep. Like, get me out of here.
I never had that problem because I've never watched Fortnite.
Yeah, save yourself the trouble. It was a great game to play in the beginning because everyone was playing, but yeah, near the end, I mean, it's still a great game. It's still, I mean, I can talk about a little bit more, but I think enough of kind of wrapping up about the fighting games. But yeah, near the end, it's just a game that it's weird. It had a very good skill ceiling. It has, it's still a very skillful game, but at the end to kind of get to that peak, it just fails. It's just not a competitive game. Yeah.
So can we so going back to the post COVID, we've looking just it seems like we've tackled a lot of the things that we did want to talk about, but so how things will change. Yeah. So Naj, is there anything in particular that's like opened up your eyes after
lot,
COVID? Yeah, a lot. You know, the precautions. Are we going to be more sanitary, or
definitely.
What's the plan here?
So the first hurdle with coming back is the masks. Even if you get a vaccine, even if we lift the restrictions and you can meet again, are we going to enforce masks? Because it's been proven to slow down the spread, and eventually, yes, we're going to have no masks at all. Hopefully, COVID's all the way gone. It's not spreading. But when we first get back, I'm still just worried. Like I got to put it out there: no mask, no entry, those kind of things.
Okay,
I
got it.
It's
your tournament, so it's your.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'm in the high risk bracket, so
I know how.
it's
Yeah,
even
yeah.
worse. You
Got
show
it.
up without the mask, you're not getting in. Sorry.
Facts.
But we have to have hand sanitizer on deck. We have to have Lysol wipes. If people are bringing in their systems from home, there's all kinds of extra little precautions, because like I don't want to grab a Clorox wipe and wipe somebody's switch and like discolor it or something. So we have to worry about every station 6 feet apart. That's another thing. And you guys have seen these tournaments when it gets heated and both players are leaning forward. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, that's how you know they're trying. We're saying we're trying. We're leaning forward. We can't be leaning close to each other, but you're leaning forward, right? Okay.
Gotta worry about mics. Like it's an airborne disease. Somebody's on the mic. We have to spray it down. There's a lot of different small precautions, but we're thinking about all of them. Yeah, bring your own mic.
Bring your own.
We all have headsets. You might as well just bring your own headset at this point.
I'm
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
So there's a lot of hygiene that we have to worry about. A lot of
No more
cleaning that we have
handshaking.
to do. Yeah, no more handshaking.
So
I
this
can't
is-
believe we have to ban that.
So does that mean there's going to be a cap on the entrance, because it's going to be
I think
hard
there
to
has
keep
to be.
it's going to be hard to keep 6 feet apart
That's the worst
in
part.
play
We have to
live.
cap it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have to, because just looking at the venue, if we we can't have too many people inside the store. It's not that big of a store, so people would have to go outside most likely in between matches,
Mhm.
and we can't really, increase the mall traffic like that.
Mhm.
Like unless we're moving outside of away from the store, and then that becomes a problem for
For the mall
getting the matches
itself.
started, and getting for the mall too, but also for the momentum of the tournament. Getting the
Right.
pacing right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you guys have seen I sometimes slow down the bracket. We've stayed over more than once.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure we won't be able to stay over
Yeah.
with the COVID regulations going on.
Yeah. Wow. So we're really gonna have to. So right when we get back, this is definitely gonna be a thing, despite us being vaccinated. But it's so with that being said, does that mean if COVID happens to be all the way gone, or if this is fully resolved, does that mean we can go back to normal? Does that mean we
Yeah.
can not do
So-
the 6 feet, the no mask? It's just, but we're gonna be. I guess we're going about it very cautiously.
Yeah, like when winter
Okay.
rolls back around and it's flu season, we'll probably bust out the hand sanitizer if COVID's gone. He's like,
Okay.
if you want to wear a mask, go ahead. It's not required
Uh-huh.
because this is also a personal medical thing. Not everybody has access to the vaccine. Not everybody wants the vaccine. Some people have already had COVID. And I'm not really gonna ask somebody, have you had COVID or have you had your vaccine?
You also bring your vaccination card with you.
Yeah,
Vaccinated.
it's a little too much.
Yeah, it is a little too much. You're right.
But the biggest issue will be how do we balance growth with safety?
Restrictions.
Because the first time we got capped, our biggest tournament was 54, and
Classic.
we got capped after that. We couldn't go over 50, and it never happened anyway. But it was always at the back of my head, like I'm so
Yeah.
close, and then there's something we can't get around.
Right.
But yeah, the first couple tournaments, they're definitely going to be capped. I'm thinking 16. That's manageable. We can do it really quick because we are going to have to adjust to,
Mhm.
COVID.
Yeah, and there's another thing I just thought about. The store hours are all way less than they used to be for the most part.
Yeah.
I think the mall closes by 7 now.
That's wild.
So
Yeah, I was going to ask
definitely
that.
need to restrict the amount of people in order to get the matches out and done within the time frame. We probably have to start earlier too, because can't start at 6:00 and the mall closes at 7.
Right.
Well, how can we spread the word out then? How much aggressive are we going to be about turnout?
Oh,
Maybe.
I'm still going to be aggressive. I've got flyers planned. I've got, the whole new incentives that I have lined up to hopefully get more people to come out. It's ironic because then they won't be able to enter, but at least they'll know it's back.
But yeah, I don't know. That's a
Yeah, that's gonna be
conversation.
interesting.
That's a conversation.
How
for
do you
the
market?
future, man.
How do you market a tournament?
The
when you have to
venues-
cap it at that certain-
The venue's so small, and it's just there's just so many passionate people out here in the valley. It's just I truly believe we can get a sick turnout, but it's
Ooh,
just
sick. Oh no. We don't.
oh not okay. Here we
Good
go.
choice of words.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, the best way to get the word out, share the YouTube channel. We have over 300 videos and about 300 views. So please
Hey, class.
check out the YouTube. We have all the archive footage. Relive some of your favorite moments. Study up on, Infamous. Learn his habits so you can beat him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's because you can just do that.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah, you just watch a YouTube video. Man, if all you had to do was watch a YouTube video and learn his habits and I could win, oh man, dude, I would literally be the best fighting game player in the world. I waste so much of my time doing that. And yeah, look where I am. Not getting results. So yeah. So but yeah, I mean there are a lot of VODs, huh? I forgot.
There are.
Oh my
And it's not just Smash, it's Tekken 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, check out the VODs, spread the VODs, because if we can get some online interest, going and the Twitch stream going again, then even if we don't have, the 30 people in the venue, they can be maybe at home supporting us that way, viewing. Because I mean, one idea I had was we do like a rotating tournament queue where, like, if you entered last week, you can't enter again the next week.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, if you have too many
So
entries,
that means
right?
no perfect attendance awards. It's first season now.
The first season is going to be really slow. It's not even going to be an official
Way
season.
different. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So online tournaments, are they in the future?
Is rollback netcode in the future?
That sounds like we're doing flippy tournaments, huh?
Yeah.
We talked about this. It's I mean, at least me and Naj briefly. Very it's just it's if it's rollback.
So it sounds like we have a melee tournament, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it sounds like Melee's in.
Rollback probably. Ultimate,
No.
yeah, I'm not even the one organizing this tournament, and even I know, like, there's no way you can have an ultimate tournament. The last 2 days, me, Maz, and Naj playing each other, like, hey man, we've had some good games, but there's some times where you feel it that we're playing online, and I'm just like, yo, I'm not trying to lose in brackets.
We can't even tag
to the internet. Like, I'm not
we
losing
couldn't
to
even
the
tag offline. Oh.
Can't even. It's just like, what's happening? Like,
Real quick though, shout out to Weapon Rate. He hosts Smash Sundays. Check him out. It's a great online tournament. Foodie Corn, he hosts online tournaments and lobbies on his stream. We're gonna link them in the description later, but check those guys out. I'll put all the local, or I mean not the local, but the Central Valley hosted online tournaments in the info on this video. Because they are out there, but we're not gonna run any.
Hey, they hit you with the ads? What?
Yeah.
They come to you then?
Huh? Oh, no, man.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just joking. We just love them. They're great.
Friend of the pod, man. Friend of the pod.
We gotta support the brothers in the community, brothers and sisters in the community. And those guys they do great things by just having events, man. Like, those guys care enough to host events. So shout outs to those guys.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you right now, I could not do the online tournament. It's a little too much. At least in Ultimate.
Yeah, you want to keep your sanity alive for sure. That's for
true.
sure. Yeah.
Absolutely true.
But I was gonna ask you then. I mean, clearly there's gonna be challenges. We can't definitely not prepare ourselves for like reluctant people trying to come in. And I know a lot of tournaments is like, who's gonna be the first one to give it a shot? But I assume like it's still no pending date, right? Like, I guess we just have to keep playing it by ear and just wondering like when, particularly like summer, or sounds like maybe.
Well, fingers crossed for summer, but the plan is once everything opens back up, I mean, I've been watching it. Everything opens up. 2 weeks later, there's a spike. So we're going to at least wait 2 weeks after everything's opened up before we plan anything. Just because it's logistics too. We have to make sure we can get everything in order. I mean, I haven't seen Kaiser all for a year now.
Shout out to Kaiser.
Yeah. And I mean, he's got a lot of stuff that he has to get prepared before we could even, we got to test the stream again, make sure everything's working, get the layout down, figure out, how far apart everything has to be, those kind of deals. So, take at least 2 weeks, get everything lined up. Once everything's open, once it's clear, we'd love to start as soon as possible.
Just got to be, just our number one priority is just to obviously be safe. So that's, we'll definitely be seeing how things go in the near future.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really interested about the turnout because I want to go back to the question, which is like, yeah, clearly COVID, which shown us is like online, playing online, it's just not the same. And I do mean not just like getting good, but I also mean like mentality wise, like it's this is one thing that I kind of shared about me is I'm pretty like a health kind of like nut, if you will. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's extremely important. And I tell this all the time. It's like you got to go outside, you got to exercise. And if you like playing video games, it's great. I do. But if you really care about being good at a video game or even anything, you have to do some exercise. And I feel like just going outside and being in an offline tournament, just meeting people is healthy. But that's why I really wanted to push for the offline tournament, provided the precautions and restrictions are lifted and it's absolutely safe, or the safest we can make it at least.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I really
yeah.
am.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Too.
Just showing up, man. I really took it for granted. Also, it's gonna be easier for me now because I was going there on my day off and I was on night shift. I was working graveyard, so that
Yeah.
means like I on my day off I spend one whole day on my day off just being there. But now that I'm on day shift, I switched to day shift for multiple reasons, but this is one of them, right? So I can after work I can at least make an attempt to to go to this, right? So but yeah, that's just how much the event means to me. Like it was just fun, and I thought it was cool to socialize, talk about what we like, and healthy. Yeah, I agree with Solidus there. I like that.
Yeah, the one thing too about the online environment, I'm sure you guys thought about this too, actually. But I'm really wondering what the scene is because fighting games, they got put on notice. They really did. If you do not have a stable online platform, no one's gonna play your game. And I hate to sound a little pessimistic because I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to be more realist. But I'm wondering. I mean, I think Smash Ultimate will still be alive, but I don't know what the other scenes are going to be because like DBZ Fighters was another game I really liked, and that game took a hard turn because they just didn't have proper netcode. And when you have a full year of the only option is playing online, and it's like playing in a swamp, people are not going to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really curious to see what the turnout will be. I think if you don't mind me asking, but Smash would probably be the big one, or you also run like the other games too simultaneously, or just kind of just play it by ear and see what their turnout was going to be.
I'm hoping I personally am hoping that people just miss offline that much to where they just don't never want to play online again, and that
Yeah.
we do come back stronger. Even a game like DBFZ, which I also love, the netcode being as suspect as it is, that people will still come out when we host events. Like, yo, fine, like someone will come in like, yo, finally, I just want to play this game because I like it, play with other people. You know what I mean? And yeah, we Naj fully charged. We do Tekken too. You know what I mean? Who knows what the Tekken guys are up to,
Awesome.
man? Like,
Yeah.
so online for Tekken is not the best either. So, maybe I'm just hoping like, hey, maybe they'll just miss offline events, that much to where people will come out. So, but Smash, I feel like people will always just like Smash because Smash is just
It's
it's
big.
just so
It's
appealing.
huge.
It's just big. It's huge.
Yep.
It's appealing. So
Smash has lived through 20 plus years with no freaking Nintendo support, no online support. I think Smash will be okay.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, and that's why like I'm hoping like people, because a lot of people don't like Smash Ultimate because it's very spam heavy, as people call it. It's why I picked Link, because I realized that it's very like a horizontal fighting game rather than like a vertical one. I feel
Mhm.
like you have to control space from the platforms.
It's
But
important.
yeah, it's extremely important, absolutely. But I'm just wondering, because that's the thing is how when people's like mentality maybe gets reset when the COVID lockdown comes, because honestly, like when are you gonna fight a fighting game when you can like be Snake and beat this annoying hedgehog, or like play Link and destroy like
Steve.
Palutena, or like Steve, or like
It's a
dude,
random, right?
I had to take
The
on my
Fortnite guy.
Yeah, the Fortnite guy. Maybe Tears, that would be your dream. Like, oh, Fortnite
The
guy,
final
put him in
DLC
here.
glitch,
I'm gonna
guys.
beat him up.
Oh, yeah, that's my
That's-
nightmare. You guys got it right. How'd
Yeah,
you know?
that's gonna be your permanent training partner. Yeah, it's like when you train, it's gonna be the Fortnite guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope like because it is really a celebration of gaming. Really, that's why I feel like Smash is. It has like all these great soundtracks, great stages, and all these characters, and it is really truly is the symbol of trying to bring all these different communities together. So yeah, I'm hoping like when people come back to just kind of appreciate more. I'm like, man, I really miss playing offline, and this game's good. So
Mhm.
what we got.
We wrapping it up. We wrapping it up, Nash. Are we? What are we looking forward to when the restrictions are gone? I think we already answered that question. Just
Yeah.
playing
Just
some
playing,
games,
yeah.
just playing some games, dude. That's what I'm looking forward to,
Uh,
man.
just one last thing I want to say. Crossover, the whole name of crossover, the whole point was you had Tekken and another game. So hopefully everybody who's, dealt with a year of bad online netcode wants to play in person and we can actually drive some attendance to the side games because I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I've tried, what is it? Under Night. I've tried to get Dragon Ball Fighters. I've tried to get Street Fighter, and there was never more than 8 people interested at a time. So hopefully we'll get 8.
Hey, all you need is 8 to start.
Yeah, we just need 8 to start.
That's never stopped us before. You remember in the that one venue in what is it here in town? The one venue where I forgot. Nas, you know what I'm talking about. The one we crashed the DS tournament and we brought all the. How many
Oh.
people did we even have for that Street Fighter 4 tournament? There's no way we had more than 10.
Yeah. Oh,
we
that was
just
still a
crashed.
good turnout though.
Yeah, remember we crashed that tournament and people were like, "Yo, you got TVs?" And we really got cats out here like, "Yeah, we had TVs in the trunk. Let's go, dude." And I was like, "What's happening? Why do we have setups?"
Always gotta be prepared, man.
Oh. So, but yeah, hopefully, yeah, you're right, dude. We got to give the side games some love because I love more games than Smash. I actually love a bunch of games way more than Smash. But I as much as I like Smash, yeah, I'll always be a 2D guy at heart. So hopefully those guys come out.
Yeah, because it's like the arcade. You go out and you try the game. This is the tournament scene. You go out. Oh, hey, Strive just came out. Let me test it out before I buy it. Dragon Ball Fighters is out. Oh, I've heard about this, but I've never played it.
Yeah, and you come out, and you're like, oh, awesome! I've always wanted a good single player game.
Yeah, I think about this too, like statistics. Like it's as soon as I think about it, so man, there's like 90,000 people in Tracy alone.
Mhm.
And if you add like all the way from the strip from Tracy, and Tika all the way to like to Stockton, there's like at least like 500,000. And I'm like, how come we only get like you said 54? It's a lot, but I'm like, I know there's a lot more Splash players who can get in here that just new and would be a lot more inviting. Like, hey, just come here and try. I'm sure you'll like it. So I'm always thinking of ideas to kind of like spread the word. But like you guys said, I'll be retweeting what you guys sent out and spreading the word vocally and trying to tell them, hey, come here and grind and just have a good time.
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Summertime, we saw a lot more casual players, people who were just wandering by and thought, oh, hey, I'll try this out. A lot of kids weren't in school, so they would get their parents' permission and they'd come out. And I have one question for you, Orlando. How did you hear about us?
So I live in Tracy. I don't know if you guys do, if you guys want to share it, but it's fine. But I live in Tracy. I always was in the mall, and I just passed by and I just saw a flyer. That was just it. It was just a walk-in, really. And I saw there's a Smash tournament, but kind of like what Wes said, my work was a little bit weird. I always like darn, I can never like catch it because I worked weird hours. I worked for a bank, so I feel like I missed it. But it's funny because I asked you Tears through Twitter, and you said, "Hey, what happens if I'm like an hour late?" And you were pretty nice. You're like, "Hey, dude, that's fine. We'll just wait." I'm like, "Really? You wait for me?" So I think once you said that, and you were being a little bit more invitive, I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." So yeah, I just saw a flyer. I just happened to walk in, and from there, I was like, "All right, I'm ready to do this." But then we know what happened last year, and had to just pause that.
Yeah.
Wait, Naj, you heard that? The flyers are working.
I love it.
The fly.
Kays will be happy to hear that one.
Shout out to Kaiser, man.
Yeah, I gotta say thanks to him again because all the visuals you see, the stream, all that's Kaiser. That's not me.
Oh, dude, kids are putting in work.
That man is too humble, bro. I really wish he would just one day just take the mic and just be like, y'all better hold that because I'm literally what you see. Like I'm OD. Like but again, shout out to Kaiser, man. Thank you for everything you done.
Thank you, Kaiser.
That it, boys. So we're wrapping it up. I had a good time.
Wrapping it up, yeah.
Thought this is very productive. We were really happy to have you on, man. You had a lot, very insightful. We just like having people that are just passionate about what we're also passionate about. So thanks for coming out, man. It was good. It was fun.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Again, I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to talk fighting games. If another opportunity exists in the future, you guys want to talk fighting games again, please hit me up.
Oh yeah.
I'll give you guys my Discord or whatever, and we can
Mhm.
just communicate and see what's up. Maybe play some fighting games online and, go through the hell together. So
Sounds good. It sounds ideal.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of the MWG podcast. We want to thank our guest, Solidus Orlando, for coming on. And as always, it's Tears, Westsidious, and Mossta. We'll catch you guys next week.
Later, guys.
Enjoy.